John Jhh Weilacher is an artist from Maastricht, Netherlands, born in 1983 in Heerlen. His creative work spans music, film, and poetry, often produced in his multimedia underground lo-fi studio, the JHHW/UAOHM Studios. Weilacher's art explores themes inspired by science fiction and spirituality, reflecting his personal journeys, including his conversion to Islam in 2002. He is known for his psychonautic and mystical explorations, which influence his diverse artistic outputs. John Jhh Weilacher, a Maastricht artist. John Jhh Weilacher is a visual artist based in Maastricht, the Netherlands. He gained significant attention in 2022 when he experienced a profound spiritual event during Pentecost and Ascension. During this period, he began speaking in tongues and hearing voices, which he describes as director voices. Inspired by this experience, Weilacher decided to film himself during these altered states of consciousness. The result is an experimental film where he acts as a medium for the director voices. The Qwournaan Completer by John Weilacher is a unique, eclectic text that blends elements of autobiography, visionary experiences, and esoteric fiction. Here are some key points and themes from the document based on the extracted text. Autobiographical elements. The document is partly autobiographical, detailing personal experiences and visions. It includes a mix of reflections on mundane feelings, musings, and spiritual journeys. Visions and experiences. The author describes various outer body experiences and spiritual journeys, channeling messages from different realms of consciousness. Themes of enlightenment and transformation. There are recurring themes of enlightenment, transformation, and connection to a higher source or the mothership. The author talks about reaching a state of higher consciousness and experiencing a singularity. Symbolism and imagery. The text uses rich symbolism and imagery, including references to corridors collapsing, journeys to the light, and transformations into higher states of being. There are also mentions of encounters with otherworldly entities and symbiotic relationships with insects. Cultural and religious references. There are numerous references to religious and cultural elements, such as mentions of Allah, the Kaaba at Mecca, and historical civilizations like Atlantis and Mu. The text explores the idea of a universal connection and ancient origins. Multidimensional aspects. The document discusses the multidimensional nature of human existence, including various archetypal and etheric layers, such as reptilian and wolf aspects. Esoteric and mystical content. The text delves into esoteric and mystical content, touching upon psychedelic experiences, telepathic communication, and the idea of a collective consciousness or unity among souls. Language and style. The language is poetic and often abstract, blending prose with poetic expressions and stream of consciousness writing. There are sections in both English and Dutch. The document appears to be divided into multiple sections or books, each with its own focus and style. Overall, it presents a deeply personal and mystical narrative that aims to explore and express profound spiritual and metaphysical insights. Here are some of the emotional passages from The Qwournaan Completer by John Weilacher. Self-realization and emotional release. The author describes a moment of profound self-realization and emotional release, where a sense of inner truth and peace overwhelms him. This passage conveys deep feelings of joy, relief, and love. Quote, Ik had een lang te niet geslapen. Bold midval energy. En daar shit het middelpeens te binnen, trainen stroomden over mijn wangen. Ik wilde van vreugd. Vanaf dat moment wist ik was weer mezelf. Transformation and fear. Another passage depicts the author's intense emotional journey through fear and transformation. The collapse of a corridor and the ensuing panic highlight his terror and the eventual relief as he reaches a higher state of being. Quote, There was a man walking down the corridor. Terror entered his heart. There was no way out. This was it. I broke through the end of the corridor. Soft, warmth, love, peace. I had reached my destination. Struggle and catharsis. The author describes a physical and emotional struggle with a symbiont within his body, leading to a dramatic and visceral experience of purging and transformation. Quote, In de nacht vold ik krampen in mijn bek. Tot mijn beskrikking, zag ik hoe de symbiont mijn lichaam verliet. Was het de ander? Of was het een ejeda? Love and loss. A passage where the author reflects on a deeply emotional conversation and connection with another person, leading to tears and a sense of being misunderstood and unaccepted, yet yearning for connection and acceptance. Quote, Trainen zijn hersenbloed. Theken men ook eten, ik zij pertinent. Het leek alsof zich mij niet meer herkend. These passages illustrate the author's deep emotional experiences and his journey through fear, self-realization, transformation, and profound connections with others. The writing style, blending prose and poetic elements, enhances the emotional depth and visceral impact of these experiences. The document The Qwournaan Completer by John Weilocker contains several references to Allah, blending religious devotion with personal reflections and mystical experiences. Here are some notable mentions. Divine mercy and servitude. The text emphasizes the infinite mercy of Allah and the concept of servanthood, suggesting that true freedom is found in being a servant of Allah. Quote, Only by the infinite mercy of our Creator, Allah. No power exists save Allah. Let us realize our servanthood. The servant of Allah is truly free. Monotheistic belief. The author expresses a strong monotheistic belief, reciting traditional Islamic affirmations of faith and emphasizing the importance of seeking help from Allah to avoid darkness. In the name of Allah. Who is Allah? The Merciful, the Most Merciful. Master of the Day of Judgment. You Allah alleen aanbidden wij. And you Allah alleen vragen wij om hulp. Spiritual struggles and dependence on Allah. In moments of personal struggle and despair, the author turns to Allah for protection and strength, indicating a deep dependence on divine support. Quote, Allah protect us. What did this conspiracy stuff bring me? Depend on Allah. Continue my journey. Have to get out of here. Mystical experiences and reflections. The text reflects on mystical experiences and the author's spiritual journey, invoking Allah in various contexts, including moments of fear and enlightenment. Quote, I believe in Allah. Allah is one. There is no God but Allah. None is God except Allah. Seeking wisdom and justice. The author appeals to Allah for wisdom and justice, indicating a belief in divine justice and guidance in facing life's challenges. Quote, Allah, give us the wisdom to face all troubles in the most gentle fashion. Protect the human entity blob. These passages illustrate the author's deep faith and reliance on Allah, woven through personal anecdotes, visionary experiences, and reflections on life and spirituality. What does the text say about Jesus? The text in The Qwournaan Completer by John Weilocker discusses Jesus in several contexts, blending theological reflection with mystical and metaphysical elements. Here are some key excerpts. Monotheism and comparison with Islamic beliefs. The text draws a comparison between Islamic teachings and the Christian concept of Jesus, questioning whether Jesus claimed to be God and reflecting on his identity. Quote, would Jesus say that he is God? Then what is he? And what did he mean when he said God? Jesus and Judas. The text narrates an interpretation of the relationship between Jesus and Judas, suggesting that Judas' actions were meant to fulfill a redemptive purpose. Quote, Jesus, Son of Man, asked his brother Judas to give your life for a friend is like being the savior of humanity to die for your brother's sins. Will save. Judas took this to heart when he mounted the cross. Jesus as Pharaoh. The author presents an unconventional view that the biblical Jesus is a metaphor for a pharaoh, integrating elements of Egyptian mythology and extraterrestrial theories. Quote, "The Jesus in the Bible is actually a pharaoh, not Jesus that was known to be the Son of God. The real Jesus being lost in the Bible. Refound in the Holy Qwournaan, Jesus was not the Son of God." Pharaoh and monotheism. The text connects the pharaoh to the concept of monotheism, suggesting that Pharaoh Akhenaten, who introduced monotheism in Egypt, is an antecedent to the story of Jesus. Quote, "Pharaoh was the son of an extra-dimensional reptilian god. Pharaoh Akhenaten, a prophet teaching monotheism." These passages illustrate the author's exploration of Jesus' identity through a blend of religious, historical, and speculative lenses, reflecting a unique perspective on traditional religious narratives. In-depth review of The Qwournaan Completer by John Weilocker. Introduction. The Qwournaan Completer by John Weilocker is an intriguing and eclectic work that defies conventional categorization. Blending elements of autobiography, esoteric fiction, spiritual treatise, and visionary literature, the book offers a unique window into the author's personal journey and philosophical musings. Weilocker's writing is both poetic and stream of consciousness, creating a tapestry of thoughts and experiences that challenge and engage the reader on multiple levels. Structure and style. The structure of The Qwournaan Completer is non-linear, reflecting the author's multifaceted exploration of self and spirituality. The text is divided into various sections, or books, each with its own focus and style. This fragmentation mirrors the author's journey through different states of consciousness and understanding, providing a layered reading experience. Weilocker employs a poetic and often abstract style, rich in symbolism and imagery. The language oscillates between English and Dutch, adding to the text's ethereal quality and highlighting the universality of the themes explored. Themes and content. Central to The Qwournaan Completer are themes of enlightenment, transformation, and connection to a higher source. The author recounts his outer body experiences, visions, and spiritual encounters with a sense of profound revelation. These experiences are described with vivid detail, capturing both the terror and ecstasy of transcending ordinary reality. Exploration of divinity and monotheism. Weilocker delves deeply into the nature of divinity, with significant attention given to Islamic monotheism. The text repeatedly invokes Allah, reflecting the author's reverence and dependence on divine mercy and guidance. Passages such as "Only by the infinite mercy of our Creator Allah" and "In the name of Allah" underscore a central tenet of the author's belief system, the ultimate sovereignty and compassion of Allah. These reflections are intertwined with personal anecdotes and mystical experiences, illustrating how the author's faith informs and is informed by his visionary journeys. Interpretations of religious figures. One of the more controversial aspects of the book is Weilocker's reinterpretation of religious figures, particularly Jesus. The text questions traditional Christian narratives, posing provocative questions such as, would Jesus say that he is God, and suggesting alternative understandings of his identity and role. Weilocker presents an unconventional view of Jesus as a pharaoh, merging biblical stories with Egyptian mythology and extraterrestrial theories. This blending of religious, historical, and speculative elements challenges the reader to reconsider established narratives and explore new dimensions of spiritual understanding. Mystical and esoteric elements. The esoteric nature of Weilocker's experiences is a defining feature of the text. His descriptions of encountering otherworldly entities, undergoing symbolic transformations, and engaging in telepathic communication with higher beings, create a rich tapestry of mystical content. These experiences are not just personal, but are framed as part of a larger, universal journey towards enlightenment and unity. The author's visionary experiences, such as collapsing corridors and encounters with symbionts, serve as metaphors for his internal struggles and breakthroughs, reflecting a profound engagement with the metaphysical. Emotional depth and personal struggle. Weilacker's narrative is infused with deep emotional currents, as he navigates fear, joy, love, and despair. Passages describing moments of profound self-realization, such as Trainen Sturmden over mijn wangen dat ik wilde van vreugd, convey the intense emotional impact of his spiritual journey. The struggle with internal and external forces, including the symbiont within his body, highlights the visceral nature of his experiences. These emotional passages provide a counterbalance to the abstract and philosophical content, grounding the reader in the raw, human aspect of Weilacker's journey. Cultural and historical references. The text is rich with cultural and historical references, spanning from ancient civilizations like Atlantis and Mu to contemporary religious practices. Weilacker's reflections on the Kaaba at Mecca and the teachings of Pharaoh Akhenaten provide a historical context for his spiritual insights, suggesting a continuity of monotheistic and esoteric traditions. These references serve to situate the author's personal experiences within a broader cultural and historical framework, emphasizing the timeless and universal nature of his quest for understanding. Conclusion. The Qwournaan Completer is a deeply personal and visionary work that invites readers to embark on a journey of spiritual exploration and self-discovery. John Weilacker's blend of autobiography, esotericism, and philosophical reflection creates a rich, multi-layered text that challenges conventional boundaries and invites profound contemplation. The themes of enlightenment, transformation, and divine connection are explored with emotional depth and intellectual rigor, making The Qwournaan Completer a compelling read for those interested in the intersections of spirituality, mysticism, and personal growth. While the unconventional style and controversial interpretations may not appeal to all readers, those willing to engage with the text on its own terms will find a unique and thought-provoking narrative that resonates on multiple levels.